5 a.m. in the Pantanal labyrinth. The largest tropical wetland on Earth begins to awaken. Here, the boundary between land and water is merely an illusion, and for the phantom of the swamp, hunger will dictate every silent step. Over the next 14 hours, we will follow this predator through the complex dances of the floodplains. But to survive the descending twilight, it must execute a seemingly impossible hunt. Before the sun breaches the horizon, profound stillness rests upon the vast Pantanal wetlands. In this pale dawn, ancient shapes anchor the shoreline, while a jabiru stork wades. Every movement is calculated, a precise thrust into the murky depths to break the fast. Even on the absolute surface of the dark river, life finds a delicate balance. From deep shadows of thick foliage, the undisputed ruler of these marshlands begins patrol. As hues clear, this tropical wetland ecosystem reveals predator and prey sharing quiet dawn. The delicate marsh deer remains ever vigilant, senses tuned to the slightest damp shift. High above damp earth, a vibrant hyacinth macaw navigates the towering gallery forest canopy. On the floor, a heavy South American tapir pushes through leaves, scenting wet mud. Hidden among exposed roots, the jaguar, Panthera onca, locks its gaze on the riverbank. Expansive, dark, meandering water channels reflect the morning sky, carrying the steady river flow. Tranquil silence breaks as an energetic family of giant river otters porpoises out. These relentless hunters waste no time, eagerly tearing into fresh catch on muddy banks. Deep in the mid-canopy, a brightly colored toko toucan hops along a flexible vine. With a swift toss of its head, the toucan swallows its morning prize whole. Back along the shoreline, the stealthy apex predator casually patrols the misty tree line. Crouching low at the water's edge, the jaguar rhythmically laps from the murky river. Perched precariously over dark waters, a vivid ringed kingfisher vigorously shakes wet feathers dry. Along the drier upper ridge, an agile, crab-eating fox trots, searching for a meal. Directly above the river, an intelligent capuchin monkey meticulously peels bark from a twig. Beneath the surface, complex ancient root systems weave deeply, holding the muddy earth together. Unseen by grazing capybaras, a stunningly patterned ocelot creeps slowly through the distant brush. Blending perfectly with green undergrowth, the small feline freezes its body in focused stalk. Standing on a half-submerged log, a sleek cormorant, representing diverse neotropical birds, dries wings. Piranha teeth break the surface, a stark reminder of predators and complex food web dynamics. Out on the expansive flat plains, a towering, flightless greater rhea walks with stride. With swift, precise pecks, the immense bird forages for insects hidden within tall grasses. Nearby, a bizarre, giant anteater uses immense front claws to sweep a termite mound. Adding hypnotic beauty to the landscape, a brilliant blue morpho butterfly flutters over ferns. Preparing for rising heat, the jaguar lowers its massive body into concealing grasses. Mid-morning diffused daylight pierces the overcast sky, bringing warmth to lush aquatic vegetation. Slipping ominously along the waterline, a massive green anaconda pulls through the slick mud. Partially submerged, the great serpent slowly flicks its forked tongue to taste humid air. Standing in a flooded basin, a delicate marsh deer vigorously shakes off persistent flies. On sun-baked mud, an ancient yacare caiman stretches its powerful jaws completely wide open. The river's energy surges as a family of giant river otters playfully chases. Floating peacefully on its back, an otter vigorously rubs its paws over its face. Using its prehensile snout like a snorkel, a heavy tapir swims purposefully across. High in the canopy, a hyacinth macaw utilizes immense bite force quotient, crushing nuts. Flexing massive muscles, the stealthy jaguar climbs high into an ancient overhanging tree. The canopy interweaves with hanging vines, creating a multi-layered world supporting incredible biodiversity. While capybaras graze heavily below, an agile capuchin monkey effortlessly leaps between thin vines. Hanging upside down by its prehensile tail, the intelligent primate precisely plucks a berry. Deep in shaded forest, the giant anteater stands tall to rip a rotting trunk. Whipping its incredibly long, sticky tongue into the hole, the anteater gathers termites. As the approaching midday heat intensifies, a small crab-eating fox retreats toward shaded thickets. Seeking refuge, the fox lies completely flat in cool dirt, panting heavily to regulate. Standing absolutely motionless in dark shallows, a towering jabiru stork suddenly snaps a fish. Finding the cool darkness of an ancient hollowed tree, a toko toucan rests peacefully. Draped comfortably over a horizontal branch above the river, the apex predator pants steadily. Late morning warmth settles over slow-moving dark river channels, slowing the wild's momentum. A tired giant river otter sluggishly drags its wet body onto a dry log. Resting completely flat, the exhausted otter releases a wide, squeaky yawn as it settles. Deep within a densely shaded fern thicket, a beautiful ocelot pants, blinking slowly. In absolute serenity, a brilliant blue morpho butterfly slowly folds its massive iridescent wings. Framed by resting caimans, a graceful marsh deer stands motionless, taking a final sip. Swatting away a persistent fly with a flick of its ear, the deer prepares. Seeking refuge in the deep shade of the canopy, the hyacinth macaw closes eyes. High above the river, the powerful jaguar slowly closes intense yellow eyes, succumbing sleep. Completely asleep on its massive branch, the jaguar's long tail hangs loosely, gently twitching. Flat midday light washes over sun-baked mudflats, bringing profound, oppressive stillness to the Pantanal. While caimans bake motionless, a heavy South American tapir stands still in the river. Submerged almost completely, the tapir slowly exhales a large bubble from its prehensile snout. Curled into a tight ball, a giant anteater uses its bushy tail for protection. The prehistoric eye of a massive yacare caiman slowly blinks shut against midday glare. A towering greater rhea seeks ultimate relief sitting completely folded under a shaded tree. Panting rhythmically with its beak slightly open, the great bird releases rising body heat. Tucked deeply beneath massive green leaves, a brightly colored toko toucan rests perfectly still. Sprawled completely flat on cool dirt beneath tangled roots, the powerful jaguar breathes heavily. Lazily lifting one front paw, the sleeping predator licks its foot before resting again. The dark river channel becomes perfectly stagnant, a mirror reflection under the intense atmosphere. Coiled within a deeply shaded hollow of exposed roots, a massive anaconda lies motionless. The great serpent breathes incredibly slowly, thick, scaly body expanding slightly with each breath. On the stagnant, mirror-like surface, a highly detailed giant water bug rests perfectly still. Perched on a deeply shaded twig, a vibrant ringed kingfisher pants with beak wide. While the herd sleeps heavily, an exhausted capuchin monkey lies flat across a branch. Completely overwhelmed by heat, the intelligent primate takes slow, deep breaths with eyes closed. Curled tightly inside an excavated dirt hole, a small crab-eating fox sleeps heavily. Without opening eyes, the sleeping fox sharply twitches its ear to deter a fly. Standing perfectly still on a shaded log, a sleek neotropical cormorant pants rapidly. Intense heat waves visibly distort the distant tree line across an expansive dry mudflat. Contrasting the baking caimans, a towering Jaguar stork stands absolutely frozen in distant shade. Standing on one leg to minimize hot ground contact, the stork pants rapidly. Seeking maximum relief from the sultry earth, the jaguar rolls, stretching legs straight up. In this deep shade, the heavily muscled belly of the jaguar rises in slumber. While capybaras sleep heavily, a highly camouflaged ocelot rests completely motionless on a branch. Draped over the wood, the beautiful feline lazily flicks the tip of its tail. In total midday exhaustion, a massive giant river otter lies flat on cool mud. Sleeping heavily on the wet mud, the otter twitches its long, sensitive whiskers rapidly. Barely breaking the still river surface, a piranha's sharp dorsal fin silently slices through. Long, soft shadows stretch beautifully across the expansive flooded savanna as afternoon cooling begins. While caimans slowly begin to shift, a graceful marsh deer steps into cooling shallows. Revitalized by shifting air, the delicate deer aggressively lowers its head to drink deeply. Emerging steadily from tall grasses, a heavy South American tapir robustly shakes its body. Awakening inside its dirt hollow, the powerful apex predator slowly opens piercing yellow eyes. As the herd slowly stands, an agile capuchin monkey aggressively leaps across a gap. Fully awake in cooling air, the intelligent primate sits upright, vigorously scratching its side. Ready to hunt again, a giant river otter slides smoothly back into dark water. Perched proudly on a mossy branch, a beautiful hyacinth macaw meticulously preens brilliant feathers. Preparing immense muscles, the waking jaguar slowly unsheathes thick, razor-sharp claws into a log. Soft afternoon shadows stretch over expansive dark river channels, signaling approaching golden hour. Contrasting the grazing capybaras, a heavy South American tapir wades through a shallow basin. Standing chest deep, the tapir uses its unique prehensile snout to tear wet aquatic plants. On a sun-warmed twig, a brilliant blue morpho butterfly rhythmically pulses massive iridescent wings. A towering Jaguar stork wades gracefully, carefully lifting long legs high with deliberate steps. As caimans slide off mudbanks, an energetic family of river otters swims forward rapidly. Swimming powerfully through murky water, the aquatic hunter forcefully adjusts grip on silverfish. Moving in synchronized single file, massive capybara herds carefully navigate a steep, muddy embankment. Demonstrating perfect balance, the apex predator jaguar walks fluidly along a massive fallen tree. Pausing its patrol, the powerful feline slowly lowers its heavy head to intensely scent. As daylight fades, the dense, towering gallery forest canopy casts deep, cooling silhouettes. Framed by shifting caimans, a beautifully patterned ocelot cautiously emerges to begin evening hunts. Crouching incredibly low behind dry ferns, the ocelot intensely sniffs, tracking unseen prey scent. In vibrant color flash, a ringed kingfisher dives headfirst, violently breaking the dark river. Scanning the dimming riverbank, a sleek neotropical cormorant rapidly darts its head searching shadows. The vast, still river channel flawlessly reflects dusty orange and deep blue twilight hues. A graceful marsh deer slowly wades deeper into twilight, a silhouette against fading light. Standing chest deep in darkening water, the delicate deer aggressively shakes its wet head clear. A towering greater rhea walks slowly, systematically pecking at tall grasses as twilight settles. In prehistoric patience, armored scutes of a massive yacare caiman sink perfectly vertically away. Tall aquatic reeds completely silhouette against dusty orange twilight as evening breezes sweep through. As caimans rest, a small crab-eating fox cautiously emerges to begin the nocturnal hunt. Trotting briskly in twilight, the fox pauses abruptly, lifting its nose to catch scents. Preparing to roost, a brightly colored toko toucan backs slowly into a dark cavity. Deep within underbrush shadows, piercing yellow eyes of the apex predator jaguar glow faintly. Enveloped in deep blue twilight, ancient tangled tree roots weave, hiding secrets of night. An immense giant anteater walks with a heavy gait across plains, its silhouette unmistakable. Pressing its tubular snout firmly, the anteater actively forages through grass in deep twilight. A massive green anaconda undulates side to side, swimming effortlessly through the dark river. In sudden movement, razor-sharp piranha teeth violently break the surface before darting back down. A perfectly stagnant dark river reflects the last deep blue evening light, surrounded silently. While caimans rest on mud, a capuchin monkey cautiously climbs to secure sleeping spots. Sitting still on a high branch, the monkey tightly wraps its prehensile tail anchoring. Creeping low through dark underbrush, the apex predator places massive paws with agonizing slowness. On the mirror-like black water, a giant water bug twitches, sending tiny dark ripples. At a sharp dark river bend, thick evening mist rolls over water, setting incredible tension. Unseen by oblivious yacare caimans, the jaguar smoothly slides out from behind a tree. Frozen completely solid mid-stride, the heavily muscled ambush predator locks intense focus forward. To conceal its profile, the predator slowly presses its massive chest against cold mud. Waiting in darkness, the jaguar's rounded ears sharply twitch, pinpointing its prey's exact location. The razor-thin boundary where slick mudbanks drop into pitch-black rivers becomes the ultimate stage. Lurking on distant ledges, the heavily muscled jaguar slowly shifts hind legs, gaining traction. With massive shoulder muscles tense, the crouching jaguar stares intensely downward without blinking. Demonstrating absolute predatory control, the jaguar steps one massive front paw without forming ripples. Partially submerged in black water, the spotted paw slowly presses down, gripping the riverbed. Targeting the immense yacare caiman, the heavily muscled jaguar violently launches its entire body. Plunging into pitch-black river with immense force, the jaguar hits violently, sending explosive spray. In breathtaking raw power, the massive jaguar tightly grips the caiman within churning water. Straining intensely, the soaked jaguar uses thick legs to powerfully drag the heavy reptile. Standing victorious, the wet jaguar breathes heavily against the twilight sky, master of the Pantanal. The Pantanal belongs to the jaguar. But 1,000 miles north, beneath an impenetrable canopy, an entirely different phantom stalks the forest floor. To witness the circadian rhythm of the deep Amazon, follow me there right now